Hello, good morning. This is Arvin Cacanog, and this subject is CE 545, CE Laws, Ethics, and Specifications. The code is: civil engineers may accept an assignment requiring education or experience outside of their own fields of competence, provided their services are restricted to those phases of project in which they are qualified. All other phases of such project shall be performed by qualified associates, consultants, or employees. Engineering generally does not consist of completing designs or process of one after another in a straightforward progression of isolated tasks. Instead, it involves trial and error process with backtracking based on decisions made after examining results obtained along the way. The design iteration resemble feedback loops and other well-functioning feedback control system. Engineering takes into account natural and social environments that affect the product and people using it. Engineers apply techniques of engineering analysis in testing, production, or maintenance. Analytical engineers may supervise production in factories and elsewhere, determine the causes of a process failure, and test the output to maintain quality for major components or entire projects. Engineering analysis involves the application of scientific analytic principles and process to reveal the properties and state of the system, device, or mechanism under study. Engineering analysis proceeds by separating the engineering design into the mechanisms of operations of failure, analyzing or estimating each component of the operation or failure mechanism into isolation, and recombining the components. They may analyze the risk. Many engineers use components to produce and analyze designs to simulate and test how a machine structure or system operates, to generate specifications for parts, to monitor the quality of products, and to control the efficiency of the process. Engineering is important and learned profession. As members of this profession, engineers are expected to exhibit the highest standards of honesty and integrity. Engineering has a direct and vital impact on the quality of life of all people. Accordingly, the services provided by engineers require honesty, impartiality, fairness, and equity, must be dedicated to the protection of the public health, safety, and welfare. Engineers must perform under a standard of professional behavior that requires adherence to the highest principles of ethical conduct. Over the last century, practices of engineering has become increasingly specialized. Technical specialty and subspecialty areas have proliferated as new and innovative ways of solving our society's needs have been developed. In today's inter-complex profession environment, an engineer cannot be expected to master the entire range of professional competencies which are included within the definition of the practice of engineering any more than, for example, in the field of medicine, a family of practitioners can be expected to perform open-heart surgery. It appears that in many years ahead, engineering, just as medicine, law, and other professions, will become more specialized and subspecialized, while engineers will be trained to possess a basic understanding of the fundamentals of engineering. Few engineers will be competent to perform professional services in all areas. Every professional must recognize the limitation of its own competence and take appropriate steps in dealing with clients to assure that a client recognizes those limitations in accordance with the code. More and more, engineers will be placed in situations where they are required to rely upon expertise of material men, equipment suppliers, and others who provide much of the substance and hardware that will be used and incorporated into the projects, products, facilities, systems that engineers design. This fact will certainly have significant impact in that manner in which engineers deliver in their professional services and the nature of their services they provide to their client. For example, in the design of major plants of manufacturers of highly sophisticated computer components, it is unlikely a professional engineer would expertise in fields related to structural engineering could expect to master intricacies of electrical and electronics engineering equipment and components, and etc. At the same time, I suggest that a professional engineer who is called upon to serve the role of a lead professional in design of a facility, system, or building structure containing highly specialized system or equipment is not in the area of expertise of electrical, mechanical, and electronics engineer should be permitted to avoid responsibility of overall design of the facility, system, building, or structure. As the code clearly states, engineers shall accept responsibility for their professional activities. It should appear that reasonable balance struck between increasing specialization and sub-specialization within the profession of engineering and ethical obligation of the engineers assume full responsibility of the results of their professional activities. As the code clearly states, engineers shall accept responsibility for their professional activities. I did not read the code to prohibit the engineer from accepting its new assignment. To do so, we stated that we would limit the ability of the engineers to expand their level of experience and knowledge. We asserted that the intent of a code is to limit the individual's engineers from undertaking assignments or positions of authority and responsibility where they lack competence or experience. Most state engineering registration statutes or rules of professional conduct emphasize the view that it is unprofessional for an engineer to attempt to practice in a field engineering in which engineer is not proficient. The intent is to limit individuals engineers from undertaking assignments or positions of authority and responsibility where they lack competence or experience. I concluded by stating that I do not believe that the code's intent was to prohibit engineers whose work is to subject review and oversight by senior engineers from accepting new different tasks and duties, thereby growing professionally.